What's up everybody, Sean here with Inspired Balloons, and I wanted to come at you today with a little pro tip. It's the base plate design that we used at Float this year. There's a couple of videos of it floating around. The sound was horrible, so I just wanted to redo it, shoot it out to you guys. Basically, this is the base plate. I just use a concrete paver, which is this little thing. And you can use them in 16 by 16 or 12 by 12. For indoor designs, I use 12 by 12. Outdoor designs, 16 by 16 gives you a little bigger footprint. If it's going to be a real windy day or something super heavy, I will stack the two. I'll stack a 16-inch, a 12-inch on top of a 16-inch, or a 16-inch on top of a 16-inch for maximum weight and a nice big footprint. That's especially if I'm doing some organics outside that need to stay. Different tips like that. But anyway, it's just a 12 by 12 paver. Basically use a piece of EMT here, or EMT, yeah. Go corner to corner, find your center, mark it, flip it, mark it, and then get a 1-inch drill bit, masonry drill bit, and a hammer drill or a drill press with a 1-inch drill bit, and drill your hole in the center. And then you can actually, if you want to, leave them like this. And I'll move this to the side. I got all these tools out here. I was messing around with this. So this one's actually, I got some issues with it, but I'll show you what the issues are. So right here, you just want to take and grab you a balloon. And the cool thing about this is, I know a ton of you have 3/4 inch scraps that you have nothing to do with. So you take your 3/4 inch scrap and you cut them, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, something like that. They don't need to be much longer than that. And then you just lay a balloon down over the hole that you drilled, 1-inch hole, 3/4 inch piece of PVC, rubber mallet, and give it a good tap. And this is on a 4-foot Walmart table but as you can see, nice sturdy base plate. So at this point, you could wrap it with some, you could wrap it with a tablecloth or cover it any way you want. I use these little fancy felt pads once I have it covered to put at each corner so you can slide it across the floor. The other thing I do with them is before I put this in, and if I take a day just to prep them, I'll take and get them like this. And this is actually a super old one. I've used it 100 times. And we actually drilled this out to use it to stack. So that's the one thing I wanted to show you. So this will actually come out. I doubled up the balloon, but I drilled this a little wide at an event I was at to use it to stack. So if you have a few wider ones, and then that way they're nice and heavy. Mainly I do that. This is like an extra weight on top of a 16-inch, but that allows it to give that extra weight. I still have enough room to drop a screw in here, and then that way I'm not carrying 2 base plates at a time. So nice little pro tip there. But the other thing I do is I take Gorilla Tape and I wrap these things like a Christmas package. So X on the bottom, go around, do the top first, bottom second, and then wrap this like a Christmas present. Use Gorilla Tape. I've tried using different kinds of duct tape. Honestly, it doesn't work. If these blocks are wet, the duct tape won't stick either. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And like I said, this one's been drilled out, so it's a little bit wider. So I can't really use it for what I want. So I'll use this one for this case. And since I'm going to put it on my floor, we'll go ahead and put these felt pads on. But the cool thing about this is, after I do these felt pads, is you can just drop your EMT in. And I'm not going to cover this one just since it's for a tutorial we're doing here. But they're reusable. You can, and I'll show you here in a second. I don't think I have another small one, so we'll just go with a big one. And you can use different size. I personally like the bigger ones, especially on the 16-inch. These are fine, but I do that, and I usually put those on after I have the tape on or after they're covered. If I cover them with the tablecloth, I'll put these on. I'll tighten the tablecloth up on the top. I don't use the tablecloth method too much unless I know the base plates aren't coming back to me for some odd reason. Most of the time I get 20 of these. I drill them all in one day, tape them all like right after that, and then just store them in the corner and use them as I need. And then all I have to do is keep the scrap PVC cut and a balloon around, and I have a base plate. The best thing about this, get you a little piece of EMT and come through the back of the hole here, find the edge of the PVC, and actually use a real hammer. It works better, but that can come right out. So after your event, let's say you got 20 of these that you got to come back to the shop with, now they will stack flat. The other thing I do when I stack them is I stack them like this. So that way when I go to pick them up, I can pick them up from the corners and I'm not catching my hand. So and then that way I just stack them in the corner, and I'll have a stack of 16s, a stack of 12s. And then if I know the hole's bigger, I'll make sure those are set aside so I know they're like extra weights. The other cool thing about this design is you this is cracked and this is cracked, so this tape holds everything together. If somebody drops it, it cracks, whatever. The best part about it is, let's say it cracks and you know it's not that usable anymore, so but it is usable, so you go ahead, put it together, take it to an event that you know you're not going to strike, and they're going to strike it for you and throw it away. You're done with that one, and then you're ready to move on to the next one. So that's usually what I'll do. I'll cycle through these until they actually break to the point where I can't use them, and then I dispose of them at that time. And I usually get like 10 or 12 uses, if not more. Some of them I've had a couple years. But yeah, I've learned all the lessons because I stacked a bunch together and glued them, and then carrying those things, they were like 100 pounds. So by just drilling it out a little bit, and you saw how easy it was to put together. That's way better than a threaded rod or hot glue or anything like that. It's not labor intensive. Literally 4 or 5 inch piece of EMT or PVC or EMT, 3/4 inch. Tap, tap, tap. You'll feel it tighten up. That balloon friction holds it in there. And then you can drop this in there, put a screw in. And since we're going to do this rabbit design, and he's going to be pretty tall, if you're interested in the rabbit, it is available for $50. Perfect Easter Bunny design. The body's also usable for so many other characters. Mario, off the top of my head, you could use it for a farmer, all kinds of stuff. So get your little self-tapping screw, 1/2 inch. I like the lathe ones that have the flat head because they don't rub on balloons at all. So there's a couple different kinds of these, but I just grab these at Home Depot or Lowe's when I'm walking through. And then literally you just take and pull up on this a little bit so it's not scraping on the bottom. And you don't have to, the balloon's on the bottom, but sometimes I'll do that just to protect my client's floors. Screw that thing in, and now you got a nice sturdy base plate. The cool thing about this is you're using stuff that can be recycled. There's very minimal waste, not like the knot lamps where there's cardboard boxes and plastic and cords and all this stuff you're throwing away or trying to find another use for. But this is super durable, super nice. Outside, you don't have to do anything to them if you don't want. I'm not worried about it scratching up my floor now. And I've got a nice base plate. I also go back through. Inspired balloons.